Here we go. We're gonna go with the top what do you call ghost horror movies or ghost movies, which is synonymous. This is Jeff Carroll. I'm in a different kind of lane. I'm still in the sci-fi express lane though. So I'm doing the top my top ghost movies, right? So I'm gonna put my shades on. We doing health recovery. So I'm out here getting my exercise on. So Ghosts on the Mountain is my Kickstarter that's running right now. And part of it is, fun, out to prove people all ghosts aren't bad. But I still have to cater to the excitement that's inside me. So, of course, I got a little bit of Scooby-Doo element in there. There's humor. If you read the first two books, the cat and Kimmy and the ghost Savannah, they go at it a little bit. But beyond that, there's serious statement about ghosts. And I am a lover of the paranormal and the ghosts, but I personally believe that ghosts are our ancestors. My story of ghosts was, changed and altered when my grandmother passed away. And I didn't know when she died, other than I had a feeling of calmness over me when I was in my dorm room. And I called my mother the next day and I said, "Yo, how's grandma doing?" And I knew she was had her leg amputated from diabetes and stuff like that, but I didn't know she passed. She had been living a while with that. And she said, "Yeah, she passed last night." And I was like, wow, felt like she came to say goodbye to me. And that is what changed my perception of ghosts and my perception of the paranormal. I personally believe that, ghosts are like people. You got good ghosts, you got bad ghosts. And that's it. You got jaded ghosts. I don't believe in inherent evil. So is there an evil ghost? No, it's a jaded ghost. It's got, you want to do bad things to you because he's mad or she's mad or whatever. It's mad. But other than that, nah. Because I don't believe people are inherently evil. They might be inherently hurt and, extremely confused. But nah, I don't believe that. So let's go down my countdown. All right. And I had a list, and now I'm in the walking express lane, so I don't have my little cheat sheet to look on in my car. But let's go. So on my list, I remember the top two, but the bottom, I'm doing top five. My bottom five, I'm gonna say, definitely The Conjuring. And I'm gonna put The Nun in with The Conjuring. I felt that it almost came off like Ghost Wars, and the fact that dude and his wife were paranormal travelers, and he was a traveler, and he was able to do something to combat the ghost. It was different than, say, The Exorcist, where it's a demon and it's possessing her. Conjuring was like, yo, let me get it out of the way. Now, did they give the ghost therapy? No, they tricked the ghost, they trapped the ghost, they did all types of stuff like that to the ghost. And, the ghost was a real person or different people, so I love it. I love that element of it. And then I also love the way it's shot. I mean, you can't get over the jump scares. It brought me back into horror films, modern day horror films, because there were a lot of films that were using digital technology and just, it looked trash. One of the ones I always joke with my son about was Mama. That movie Mama, where that ghost spirit was a shadow on the floor, and she was moving around the floor. It just felt really weird, and I get it. Spirits can look like that, but it just looked weird, and the CGI looked weird. So that brings me to my next one. Oh God, I can't remember the name. Uh, um, in the Hollow. Dang, what is it? Okay, I'll tell you what it's about, and then I'll remember it. It's about the Tooth Fairy, and When Darkness Falls. Okay, When Darkness Falls is my other one, and I felt that could be my 5 or my 4. I think it's 5 because I think Conjuring is 4. But what I liked about When Darkness Falls was in the CGI era, they was trying to figure that out. It actually scared me, and I recognized the gentleman's fear in the movie of darkness. You know, it. You know, I'm a person with a vivid imagination, so when I was growing up, I was scared of the dark. I still get a little scared of the dark now, but what helps me with any phobia or any fear is the rationale that it's a fake fear. It's nothing really serious. What you call it? Look at the little ducks. When Darkness Falls had a corny ending, it didn't ruin the whole film for me. It was good. I liked the premise, man. And sometimes premises can be so strong that they carry you through the whole picture. All right, number 3 is the Blair Witch Project, and a lot of people say that's a witch story, and I get it, and I'm all down for the witchness of it, but the witch was dead. So it wasn't like my other when I do my witch countdown, it wasn't like Hansel and Gretel, because the witch in Hansel and Gretel was alive. But in this story, she ain't no wicked witch. She's a fallen witch, and they are dealing with the ghosts of this witch. And it really isn't even the witch per se. It is the thought of the witch. It is the what do you call it? The idea, the threat. They're actually going out to investigate this witch, and they don't believe it really exists. So it's in their head, and I think that, to me, is where fear lives. So to me, that really worked, and I'm just saying, I just had When Darkness Falls. So I'm a very cerebral person in the sense that I believe a lot of times the things that pain and the things that bother us are things that we could rationalize out of ourselves. And of course, there are things that are real, but many times the impact of them are caused by our interpretation of them and our rationale. So the Blair Witch Project definitely was good, and actually, just like Darkness Falls, it scared me. So I remember when I lived in Jersey, in Inglewood, my apartment, my bedroom led out to the street, and I was saying, if it let out to the woods, I would have a problem. I had sliding glass doors, and it was on the first floor. And I was like, man, I just seen Blair Witch Project. If it let out to the woods, boom. And the other thing that Blair Witch Project touched on was, there's a fear of jumping in the ocean that, I have, just the darkness of it. Now, in the Caribbean, you could see all the way through. But when I went to Acapulco, you couldn't see. And I grew up in New Jersey, New York, and we had the Hudson River and lakes and stuff. And they ain't blue water. So it's like you jumping in, you don't know what's underneath, you don't know what's around you, all of that stuff. So that fear was stoked by Blair Witch Project, because Blair Witch Project, they got lost in the woods. And I can't tell you how many times I went exploring with friends into the woods, and we were scared that we would get lost and turned around. And I remember one time we was at summer camp, we actually did get lost in the woods. It wasn't us, it was the counselor. So, and I know they wasn't playing a joke, because we was out there for too long and we got in trouble when we got back. So that lost in the woods stuff is real. All right, my next one and next two, my 2 and 1 on the list are very obvious. It speaks to my generation. They'll probably be both classic. Maybe they'll be on other people's list, and that is the Amityville Horror. That's number 2. And it inspired my book. It happened on Negro Mountain. It actually did scare me a little bit when I was growing up. It is probably the best demonic ghost story out. It did for ghosts what Jaws did for sharks, in the sense that it set the image for ghosts. It set the image for house hauntings, haunting house. I mean, for every house that's haunted and named haunted house movie, it all goes back to Amityville Horror is the top of that. And it worked for me. Now, I saw the sequels and the other stories that came from it, and I understand that it was a murder that went on and a troubled person, but to me, it watered it down, because the main threat was that this ghost was terrorizing these good people, and for practically no reason. And that fear was like, oh, it could happen to anybody. So I immediately did something different when I did it happened on Negro Mountain, was I made the people bad and made the ghosts good. And that's explored a little bit in FangerNails Ghost on the Mountain. And my number 1, I don't even know if we consider it a ghost story or whatever. It's a spirit story. I think it falls in the category of ghost, and that is Poltergeist. Poltergeist is the name for a spirit when it possesses children or people. I think it's just children. And that movie is my top ghost movie. I love it for all of the elements. I love the humor in it. I love the story, the concept. I love the execution. They tried to remake it. I don't like the remake. Straight original story that works the best for me. So I mimicked it. All these movies, kind of mimic. Like, I had a scene inspired by Blair Witch Project, and it happened on Negro Mountain. She walks out into the woods, and that was inspired by Blair Witch Project. Amityville Horror kind of inspired the whole story of it happened on Negro Mountain. And Poltergeist, I love the scene when the little boy is fighting the clown, and the clown, just the whole fight scene, it was just beautiful imagination and thing to happen. And it happened on Negro Mountain. The mother fights her hair weave. Her weave comes off her head, and that story was written to be was as a screenplay first, and I wanted it to be a movie scene. And oh my God, I would love to shoot that scene. Anyway, that's it. That's my top 5 ghost stories. We'll count them back, which is When Darkness Falls, The Conjuring and The Nun, The Blair Witch is number 3, Amityville Horror is number 2, and my number 1 is Poltergeist. So if you agree with me or you take issue, you want to add on another one that could be on the list, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share, and check out my project. All right. Peace. Jeff Carroll out. Sci-Fi Express Lane.